I wouldn't be able to pay my mortgage if I didn't have gyms, you know. So my first week, I looked in the bank. So I was 0,000. I was when I first started. After my first week, and after the materials I bought and everything, it was $12,000. You know, it's the power of the brand, the power of the system. The system actually works. You know, I had to take a big breath.
So welcome to the Gyms Group podcast. And this is a bit different today. We've gone for a different setup. Charles has gone for this really great setup here, which is awesome. So you might be familiar with this sort of podcast. When you're flipping through social media, you see the dark room and the lights and stuff. So we're going to try that for gyms. And lucky enough to have Matt coming from Gyms Electrical. So we haven't done a lot of content with Gyms Electrical. It's not because we haven't wanted to. It's because they're so busy. So they're out there doing a lot of work for people all the time. So it's good to have you on a Friday to talk about the division. So because I want to learn a lot more about it and ensure of our customers and people who might become a franchisee in it. So let's just first off start with a bit about yourself, Matt. Yep. How long have you been with Gyms Electrical for?
Now, just on 12 months. Just on 12 months. So 12 months ago, I did the training in this facility, yeah.
Because I remember you coming through training, so we did a video with you and you were real pumped. So it's great to see you after a year, which is generally the toughest time in business for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
So how's the first year been?
It's been phenomenal, to be honest. I've tried a business myself before, and start, stop, go work for someone, not enough money, you know. But this is just constant work for me. This is good, you know. That's what I've done my whole life. As I was going to say, I wouldn't be able to pay my mortgage if I didn't have gyms, you know.
Yeah.
In the way that the mortgages and everything going up at the moment.
So you were an independent sparky before, were you?
Yeah, I was on and off, and then I had to go back. We had to buy a house. We had to go on full-time wages, so the banks would accept us and stuff. But yeah, we were all by ourselves. Yeah.
So what's the difference between what you were doing before as an independent to what you're doing now? Can you just outline what is the differences for people?
Yeah. So before what I was doing, it was more safety to homes and trying to get my own customers and marketing all myself and all the hard stuff. Yeah. So right now, I just go to work. all that gets taken care of. Obviously, there's lots of ins and outs with all the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. But now I just get up, go to work, look after my customers, and I can really concentrate on the work, the customers, and the referrals and all that kind of stuff. I don't have to do 7 meetings a week, phone meetings. I don't have to see about flyers, cards, Google ads, none of that stuff. I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Now, what about the types of jobs you're getting through the call centre? What sort of things are people calling Gyms Electrical for?
We could get anything. I get things from light not working, light flickering, to a defect notice, so where the cables have been melted from the mains coming in from the street. We have to pull it all out, new homes, factories, anything, absolutely anything. It's a huge variety. A lot mostly for the home and the household, which I honestly like better. So I really like that personal connection with the customer, and I like to keep it on a personal basis.
And why do you think people like Gyms Electrical prefer to use you guys? Because it's not the first division that will come to people's mind, but I think once they know that we do it, I think they're instantly going, I want to be more inclined to use it because of the brand and obviously what comes with it. So what are customers, or what's your feedback you're getting from people?
Well, it's funny you say that because I usually get, do you mow lawns as well? Which is very, very funny. And I also get called Jim about once every 5 customers.
Common problem.
Yeah. I said I would love to be Jim.
Yep.
I'd more than happy to be Jim. But yeah.
But what do you think when obviously they use you guys? It's obviously because they've had a good experience with someone else, or because they just wanted you got the trusted name, or you've got the brand cut through straight away, whereas they know what Gyms represents a bit more. That's why they're more inclined to use you, or how does it normally work?
So usually 9 times out of 10, I'd say there's somebody from gyms. They know someone from gyms. They know someone that's worked at gyms. They know someone that's had work done by gyms, and they've already got that good reputation. And as I explained to all the customers, I say the reason that all of us take such big pride in our work is because we all own the business. We're all business owners. You're dealing with the boss. You're dealing with the admin person. Everything gets put back onto me. You know, so customers love that personal connection, I feel.
And how much more time do you have now to actually do the job? Because you mentioned stuff before where you're doing it as an independent, which was like, website, you have to worry about Google ads, you don't have to worry about chasing quotes. Whereas now, how much time do you reckon you save a week roughly with what you're doing?
If I have to put it in a number, probably a full 12-hour day. Probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
With all those extras, the chasing quotes, chasing invoice, all that stuff. Obviously, it's my own business. But my franchisor, Cam, he helps out with all that stuff. He helps. If I got a problem, I call Cam. He sorts it within minutes.
I was going to ask you about the support, so it's good to hear. So your franchisor is Cam. So for people who don't know, your franchisor is like a full-time business coach support person. So What else does he do for you, or how does the support go?
He's going to hear this. So.
Exactly, it's on camera.
No, all jokes aside, he's been fantastic. So if we get, like in every business, have a bad day, your mental health's not right, problems at home, whatever it is, problems with the customer, problems with finance, problems with anything. Like I've called Cam for everything. I've called Cam because I've got no work this week, and the motivation, the strength and support that you get from that. It's just phenomenal. It's like working for somebody that is uplifting you and helping you, but you're getting all the profits.
Yeah, because I love how you've also, what I think something is really important. Like a lot of people, I don't want to do all this sort of stuff, and you're able to step into the franchise. But a lot of people might be too proud. I don't need to, like you said all the time, like do it yourself. Yeah. Don't give Jim 40% of your money.
Yeah. I get that daily.
Yeah, exactly. Do it for yourself. Why don't you do it yourself? But as you said then, like you're saving yourself roughly 12 hours a week with just that stuff alone, not including other stuff by doing it. So for you to be able to pull yourself out of that sort of, sometimes that's an ego thing, right?
Definitely.
That I need the help with this thing, so I can just do what I'm really good at, which is being a Sparky.
Yeah.
Is a really good credit to yourself, because a lot of people don't do that, and they might get 10, 15 years worn down and be in a lot of stress, whereas you've done what you've done at an early age.
Yep.
You've been able to pull yourself out and like, I need help with this, or I don't like
this.
Definitely.
I'm a big believer in, if you need help, put your hand up. And Cam gets a few phone calls. I get a bit emotional sometimes, and he always brings me back down to earth. So it's really good. It's really good. We're very lucky to have Cam in our division. Yep. He's all over the advertising, all over the communication, and he's a big believer in mental health. No matter what. If I'm having a bad day, we have a phone call, I'm always walking away from that.
So what does your week then roughly look like, Matt? You're obviously coming in on a Friday because you've knocked off for the week, I presume. But what's your general week look like? What time are you starting?
Yep.
How does it all work with the software? Like, what are you doing for customers? Just give us a bit of an outline of what you're doing.
Yeah, so previously I was working 7 days a week before I started gyms and not making any money. Now I've cut back down to 6 days a week, but I enjoy it now. Yeah. I enjoy it. So usually I put my leads on... we're on from 8 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. So I take phone calls all day long, but I'm happy to do it. I'm more than happy to do it. You don't have to do that. You can do any time, but I'm more happy to book it in for the next week, take phone calls on the weekend. But I'm usually home by 4 o'clock now, and that's a late day now. And I've got just put on an apprentice, which is Nathan, and Nathan's partner actually works here. And
at the call centre?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, there you go.
She works in the call centre.
Oh, there you go.
So that was a small world. And, but yeah, I've been able to grow a business. Like usually I'm chasing money, falling behind. But with gyms, I've been able to actually go to work, make money and grow.
And you mentioned a good word then, which is the enjoyment. So you obviously enjoyed being a Sparky, but you didn't enjoy some of those aspects of doing it, whereas you enjoyed the work yourself. Whereas I think that's a really important thing that you've been able to step outside yourself and like, I don't enjoy these elements. What can I do to offset that? And that's why you've come to Jim's Electrical.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it was a little bit hard when I first started because I had all these ideas. I was going to take over, and I knew all this. A little bit. I was keen, which is one of my strengths and weaknesses. But it was a little bit hard to go, all right, these guys actually know what they're really doing. Yeah. Because I'll be honest, when I first started, I was scared. I didn't understand it. I didn't know it. We did the couple of days here. I loved it. I was like, yep, this is it. I'm going to be a billionaire, all this kind of stuff. I'm going to change this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this different. But if the system works, just take a step back and the system works.
Because I remember you were very entrepreneurial. And we did the Ask Jim, which is like a live Q&A. And you were even doing a new division there, ideas with him and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I sat down with Jim and we went over a couple of new divisions, but I've got enough on my plate.
That's a good point. But when you say the system works, what does that mean? Because people might think that sounds like a scammy or something like that, right? When you say the system works, what is the system to you? What do you mean by that?
So the first day when I started gyms, I didn't understand it all that kind of stuff, but I called Cam and I said, hey, mate, I haven't got a job yet. Within 2 minutes, he changed my settings. Yep. This is the system. And within the 2 minutes of speaking to Cam, I had at least, I think my first day I had 9 jobs come in. So I went, wow, okay. So I was a bit nervous going out to, even though I've done this $100 million myself, went out to the customer, won the first job, won the second job, booked in the third, fourth, fifth. I was like, it was just blown away. And you're right, it does sound like a scam sometimes, but the power of this is huge. Like I drive from my house, which is just in Lilydale, to Bayswater, I see 3 or 4 cars. We all toot, we all wave. It's the power of the brand, the power of the system, and the system actually works. I had to take a big breath. When I first started, and just go, okay, let them do it. Let them show me how it works, and it actually works.
I love hearing that comment because I remember we at training, we interviewed you in the training week, and you had a lot of friends like, don't do that or don't do this. And,
always.
Which is a common thing, unfortunately, in franchising, because we all get tired. If there's one story that gets blown up in the media,
of course,
it tars the whole thing, right? And you said that at the training. So it's great to hear after 12 months that it's married. The promises that we've made anyway, the promises from our end is married up to what you're experiencing now, which is why you've come back of your own doing. We didn't force you after a year to come back into the share your story, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And the great thing about it is for customers to know as well. Maybe let's just talk about then the customer side of it. So I've seen all that you're start doing a lot of videos, which is fantastic, showing what you can do. You mentioned some of the services before, but what are you guys actually capable of? Like, you capable of commercial? What can you do? Anything
with a cable, really. My passion and what I like to do the most is safety to homes. Safety to homes. So smoke alarms, switchboards, earth systems, anything that makes the person safe, the house safe, and helps with insurances, Okay. Because if you've got a burnt out switchboard and, something catches fire, oven overloads or something, whatever it may be, insurance companies are going to go, well, you didn't meet a level of maintenance.
That's a great point. So for homeowners that might not be aware of that, do you want to actually just go over that a bit more detail again?
Yeah. So with smoke alarms, which is a huge thing and nobody knows, and this is a great platform to get that out, that all your smoke alarms have an expiry date. So they're only in date for 10 years, and every 10 years they need to be changed, not the battery, the actual unit itself. So that's one thing to make sure your house is safe and you're going to be insured properly every single time. Also, the switchboard, we want to make sure the switchboard is always up to regulation, always up to standard. The new way of doing it is single safety switch on every switch, and that way, touch wood, you never have to call insurance, but if you do, you're always covered. Always covered. And make sure you get that certificate of safety after all jobs are completed. So if anything does go wrong, not that it usually does, you're always covered.
So like as a homeowner, regarding, like, you sort of think with a Sparky, like if something's not working, you get a Sparky in, but like, is there a regular thing that you guys can do for people, or like what should customers maybe be doing that they might not consider? Yeah,
definitely. So me personally, I said to my grandfather, I said, you need to get an electrician in, you need to get a gas plumber in, you need to get a water plumber in, and you need to just make the place safe, It's an old rundown house. I said, get in there, get them all done. Just, I can't remember the saying now on the spot, but maintenance is the best cure, basically.
Yeah.
Maintenance is the best cure. You obtain your house, and your house will look after you. You look after the house will look after you.
Because a lot of older houses now, people like that style and stuff, and I don't think people consider this until something goes wrong, right? Yeah. And as you said, there's insurances and stuff without us knowing the intricacies of the policies, but you could not be covered if something was your responsibility. A lot of people don't think of what you're saying.
Well, those insurance policies, you look on the back of them, there's about 300 pages, and they're about 0.1 of a mil.
So it almost sounds like when someone buys a home, obviously they should get a building inspection with Jim's, but like should get Jim's electrical franchise in.
100%. Okay. 100%. I go to a lot of houses where it's too late and they purchase their house and they need a full rewire.
Really?
And that rewire, depending on the size of the house, it can be anywhere from 10 to 50,000. And that's a big ticket item if you've just spent, $1 million on your forever home.
That's why you get a Jim's building inspections, franchisee, and they'll tell you to get Jim's electrical if there's issues with the wiring. But that's something I don't think many people consider, so I'm glad you said that.
No one really knows. No one really knows. And when I go to these people and explain this, they go, and especially the smoke alarms, you look at the smoke alarm and it has the date written there, and people go, I never knew that. And I go, well, I never knew it was an electrician either.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to say as well, what about commercial? Have you done some commercial stuff, business stuff?
Yeah.
What can you do
Me
for them?
Personally, I've done a lot of commercial.
Yeah.
We've just got a factory in Pakenham, a lovely guy out there with a motor mechanic factory. So he's moving from one factory to another in like 2 doors down, and we're just roughing in and going over everything, which is it's honestly my favourite work. Up on the big scissors, on boom lifts, running cables, conduits, there for a couple of days, and I really enjoy that work.
And what do you like about being a Sparky? Did you have an interest in it out of school, or how did you get involved?
Funny story. So when I was in school, I did a school-based apprenticeship, did the VCAL.
Yep.
I was the first one when VCAL came out. That's how old I am. And
I remember we had the VCAL, your kids go there. I remember.
Yeah, we were dumb ones, apparently.
That's what they told us, but you're the smart ones when you
Yeah.
look back on it, because you guys make more money and get a better life than working as an employer.
100%. So I left school in year 12 as a 2.5-year apprentice, electrical apprentice. When I left in year 12, and I think I was 17.
Yep.
And then when I was fully qualified at 21, and doing my own stuff, which was good. But yeah, so when I was in school, everyone was doing woodwork. You know, make the pencil cases, you make the things, you bring them home, you paint them, you give them to your grandparents. Everyone was doing that, and everyone wanted to do it. And I was a sheep back then. That's all I wanted to do. Credit to my mum and dad, they pushed me into doing electro-technology. I was like, yeah, it's cool. This is what my grandfather Gary. He actually worked in electrical wholesalers his whole life, and he helped me through my trade school a lot. But he gave huge interest in electrical. He used to help me with like a little electrics, put the battery on it and make the fan spin. So that really, really got me into it. But credit to my mum and dad. They pushed me, and I wasn't going easy, but they pushed me into being an electrician, and I've never looked back.
Because back then, you're right, when you say VCAL, the dumb class, that's what it was sold to us as, right? You know, it was sold, do VCE and go to uni, and VCAL, people used to make fun of the VCAL kids. But when you look back and you're going, that was a smart way to go. I'd rather have done that than go to uni. So what do you think about that? Because you've got an apprentice coming on now. At schools, was he told about that's an option for him, or are they still pushed towards just doing uni?
Yeah, they were trying to get him into university and everything like that. Right. He actually worked in, he went high-level management in Safeway and Woolworths and things like that. But yeah, he loves it. He loves it. I get messages from him. I message him every day. He messages me. And I appreciate everything I do for him, I appreciate everything he does for me, and it's a whole different world out there now, you know?
And what do you love about being a tradie?
Honestly, the number one thing I love about my trade and what I do is changing all the downlights, changing all the lights of the house, and then seeing the customer's face when you turn them on. Yeah. There's the satisfaction of that instant gratification. Obviously, you're in there, you run the cables, you make the mess, you clean up the mess. That's my huge, probably the part that gets me the most in the heart is the satisfaction of customers.
I love that point because, you guys get to experience it every day. When someone's working in an office, they might not see anything for 3 months or anything like that, whereas you can go multiple times a day. You can actually transform a place, with lighting and downlights and stuff like that, and actually see the result. As you said, that customer reaction, and you get addicted to it almost in a way. So,
isn't it? Yeah. You don't get that one if you're waiting for it.
And you made their day, and you've improved their home, and it's a good experience, right? Whereas people working in the corporates and it's a lot of problems, Whereas with what you're doing, you're actually improving someone's home.
Yeah, I know. I like when I won't name the names of other companies, but a lot of other companies that do the same stuff that we do, their prices are up here. Yeah, they're very, very high prices, and they have to. They've got $120,000 cars they drive around in, plus 10 different electricians on the road, 10 different plumbers. They've got massive overheads, and that's what they have to make. It's just me, it's my apprentice, and that's it.
That's a great point. Let's talk about that then, because it's a really good point. Because sometimes, gyms, Jim will go out there and quote, we're not the cheapest on the market because we don't want to be the cheapest, but we're not. And then people just assume, well, we're really expensive. But as you just said, then that's completely not the case with you guys.
No, I had a switchboard about 6 months ago, and the customer had been quoted $8,000, and I went there and did it for $850.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and that was a good job for me. And that's my profit margin. I don't need to make $1 million a day. Yeah. If I charge what those other companies were charging, I couldn't sleep at night. Yeah. I couldn't sleep at night. My heart's much, much bigger than my pocket.
Yeah. And I was going to say as well, do people think you're an employee when you come out, or they don't know you're a franchisee?
Yeah. They do. If they know I'm a franchisee, they always ask, oh, so how much is Jim taking off you? I go, well, I tell them the figure. It's a fee at the end of the month. It's not per job. It's not. I can make $1 million a month, and Jim still gets that little section.
Well, how does the fee sit with you? Because a lot of franchise fees is always can be controversial. But how do you think? Do you think you're getting value for that monthly fee?
So can I say numbers?
Yeah, say numbers. Go.
Fantastic. I'll say numbers. Yep. So when I was working for myself, I had an electrical company. I was trying to do all this stuff. It was costing me about anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 a month in ads, Google ads.
Wow.
Pushing things, all the extra costs. It was stupid. People just click on my ad and it cost me like $10.
Yes.
It was crazy. Yep. Now I pay anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 depending on how many leads I take a month. So, and these leads are, like as you said, the brand is trusted. It is trusted. You walk into someone's house, There's a lot of times that the tradies aren't trusted because there's other companies out there charging so much, like they'd be billionaires.
Do you think the conversion rate as well has helped with this? Because as you said, you first day you turned it on and you got all those jobs one after the other. Whereas I don't know before, how did that normally go with the conversion rate?
Usually I have to go in and prove myself and show my worth, which was hard because I know my worth, I know who I am, and I know that I only want the best for the customers. But as soon as you walk in with this, unless they've been really messed over by another tradesman or a bunch of people, you walk in and you're trusted. You know, I got a customer yesterday. She opened the door for us at 7 o'clock. We did all the work in the house. I sent photos and videos, and I sent a photo of me locking the door and closing the door and closing.
Yeah, nice.
That was like 3 hours later, and she was over the moon. A 5-star review.
So I was going to ask you about that, actually, about customer service standards. So you've just mentioned something there which I think is really, really good.
Yep.
So what else from a customer's perspective? What should they expect maybe from a Jim's Electrical franchisee like yourself? You mentioned photos and locking the door and showing a video, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
What else is there in the experience that you guys are doing?
So me, I'm probably a little bit too OCD with these things, and which is fantastic for customers. So I like to, if we're working in the laundry, say, I like to put the drop sheets down. I'd explain to the customer everything. We clean up, we vacuum, and we video everything. We video everything. We've got all the tripods, everything like that, just on the on the phones. I video everything. I explain what we're doing to the customer. I explain to the camera. I explain everything.
Really? Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
And I like to. We have these industrial wipes on video, so we time lapse everything. On video, we wipe down everything. We take before and afters.
Wow.
And then I usually send them to the customers as well. So the customers can see what we've done, how we've done it. And it's kind of cool, you know?
They'd be so appreciative of that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good business tip you just shared them with that. Because it just takes a little bit of effort, but it's, as you said, it'll go a long way. And what about referrals and repeat customers? Are you getting them through?
Yeah. So a lot of referrals. The only issue we're having at the moment is the cost of living. And that's not just Jim's Electrical, that is the world, you know? Like, we went and had coffee the other morning, was $9.10 for a nice latte.
$9?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I won't say where it was because on camera. It was ridiculous. I almost fell over, you know?
Yeah.
And the cost of everything is going up. You know? And we try and do a good service for a good price. But, the cost of living is going up. So the referrals are huge. The new customers, a lot of chasing quotes at the moment because the interest rates have gone through the roof. Grocery shopping has gone through the roof. All these extra taxes have been put onto things, which I get it. It hurts, and I'm a helper. You know, I like to go out there and give. You know, I'll just do that PowerPoint for free. I want to replace that. I'm very much like that, which is good for my heart, but not so good for the pocket.
It's a good thing. Like, it's business ethics, and that hopefully will come. And I was going to say though, my question was about pricing because you have to discuss too much about how you price, but customers, like, as you said, just some might be quote shopping, or how do they actually know to trust that price or that quote? Obviously, people would say, you should always get 2 to 3 quotes, but a lot of people are time poor as well, and they might not do that. So,
of course,
what should be on a quote? Like, what should they expect from regards to this, some of your services?
Yeah, so if I'm doing a quote, I will walk through the house with them, and I will point out things like the smoke alarms. We'll just check that. We'll go through everything, and we'll just, on the quote, we'll put down everything we've spoken about. And then you can tick and flick anything you want to do, what you don't want to do. If you want to talk to me more about it, I'll go out for free every time, no questions asked.
Yeah.
I can go from Lilydale to Pakenham, which I am tomorrow morning, for just a quote to do an exhaust fan, which is a pretty big drive. We'll go out for free. We'll go over everything together. But it's that trust, It's that trust when you walk in. I don't rip people off, and I know nobody that I know of in gyms rips people off. And that's why we have such a good name.
Yeah.
And I keep coming back to the power of the name. It's the name because we all own the business. We've all paid for the business. We all run the business. We all put time and effort in the business. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's a really important thing you mentioned. Hopefully, just keep sinking through it. It's going to take a long time, but the person coming to the house is the local franchisee, the business owner.
Yep.
And they're not working for us, or we're taking 50% fees to charge more. It's a flat fee thing. And as you said, and because the survey system's so strict as well, if there is anything going untoward, we have that get picked up. So
the survey system, which is good, which is fantastic. The survey system, if nobody knows, is as soon as I finish a job, the customer gets sent a survey.
Yep.
And it's like, were they good, bad, or anything like that? There's the survey, and then there's also a review. So you can put your review up. but yeah, the survey is fantastic for customers, so they can reflect on price or attitude or anything like that, which is also good because I think we get a message if we get a bad review.
Yep.
Within 2 business days, this has to be sorted out.
Yep.
And luckily enough, touch wood, I haven't had a bad review yet.
I don't think you have. But I was going to say as well, a good thing they should know as well is also there's a backup with the gyms group, because I think with independent tradies, if you have an issue with an independent tradie, if they go missing or don't return your call, what can you do? You can leave a 5-star bad review, or you might go to VCAT or some if you need to, but like good luck with that, right? Yep. So whereas with gyms, if something happens, which you've never had a complaint, but let's say a complaint happened, the complaint goes to the regional franchisor to get it sorted.
Yep.
If they don't sort it out, it actually goes to the gym next.
Yeah.
So this man here, which we've got on the thingo, most of his days spent dealing with complaints. And you can imagine how many jobs in the gyms group we have. It's not overly many he deals with a day and gets involved in, but that's the process for customers, and they've always got that backing up with the gyms group work guarantee as well.
It's fantastic for customers. Absolutely fantastic for customers, and it really keeps the people that own the business in check. Some people may not be made to do what to run a franchise or run their own business. They might give it a go. They might not be. They may not be good with customers. They might be. I don't know, but it really keeps you in check and keeps you honest.
Now, I was going to say, are you surprised that there's not like more Sparkies doing this? Because I know Cam obviously wants to grow the division, and there's unserviced work available in electrical and stuff. There's a lot of demand there for it. We just can't get enough Sparkies on. So, what would you sort of maybe say to them? Maybe thinking about it, because maybe their pride's too involved with it. What would you sort of say to them to consider? Yeah,
look, it's a good question. Good question. I would say if you're good with customers, you are a good person. You just want to look after the people. If you want to look after the people, if you want to go out there and rip them off and make $10,000 a day, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. If you work very hard, you can make very good money, but you want to come here and your first priority is looking after customers. And that's what Cam drilled into us when we first started. If you just want to wake up, Matthew, and go there and look after the customers, the money will take care of itself. And it's once again, the system works.
And what's your plan for your business? Because you've done your first 12 months, and that's generally the toughest in business, and you seem to be very happy, which is fantastic. So what's your plan for yourself? You mentioned an apprentice before. What are you hoping to do?
Well, I'm hoping to win a few contracts. So obviously at the moment, I'm taking like 40, 50 leads a week.
Really?
Yeah.
As a Sparky, that's a lot.
Yeah. That's a lot,
Did you think about the cost per click before you have had to spend to generate?
Ridiculous. Yeah. Ridiculous. But yeah, my plan for my future is to win a few contracts. So like maybe insurance work, maybe factory work, whatever it may be. Just someone that needs that general maintenance all the time, and just grow the team. Yeah. And I'm very, very adamant on treat the customer right. You clean up. If the customer's not happy, they don't pay. A customer only pays when they're happy. Like I had a customer today. There was a plasterer in there, not a gym's plasterer, but he was making a mess. Ripping the place down. No drop sheets in the kitchen, in the bathroom, just destroying the place. Yeah. She was having a meltdown. So what I did is me and my apprentice, we got our drop sheets out. We put them down everywhere, and she's like, "Oh, how much do I owe you for today?" And it's only the rough-in stage. So I just said, "You pay when you're happy." And she had a tear in her eye.
Which is great to hear that. I've used a few non-gyms franchisees before because I couldn't get one to do it, and I noticed a massive difference. And I actually had a plasterer, and it was a non-gyms plasterer, and didn't put a drop sheet down, made a mess, and expected me to clean up. I'm thinking, blood. And then tries to sting me for cash at the end. You're going to pay? Like, come on, mate. And then you have a gyms franchisee around, which I have had before for roofing and for antennas and stuff. And the difference is, I'm a bit biased. I worked there, and you're both wee about it. I'm just telling you now, the difference is quite noticeable.
Definitely it is. Yeah. It really, really is. Because people make the move because we're ready to do something serious. Yeah? People that are, get a couple jobs a week, just get by, get a word of mouth. They don't care. They don't care about the next one. They don't care about the person. They don't care about anything. But when you sign up to gyms, me personally, I can only talk on my experience. You're ready. You're ready to go. You're ready to work 7 days a week. Yeah. You're ready to take those phone calls at night. You're not on wages, and you're not just bludging. You're not. Like when I was on wages when I was an apprentice, I'd go up in the roof and run some cable, and it would take me 10 times as long because I was on wages.
Yeah.
Now I take pride in my work, and I love what I do, and I want to get in and out and get to the next customer and keep everyone happy.
So after your first 12 months, what's some business advice you'd tell yourself at the start again? Maybe with the shortcut the process. Was there anything in particular, maybe around systems or around doing something a certain way? What's some business advice you'd give yourself at the start?
Our struggle that we had was going changing from sole trader sole trader to company, I say get that over and done with first.
Okay. Yeah.
That was a big struggle for us, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Why was that a struggle? Was it just because you...
All the paperwork,
Yeah.
all the back and forth, it was just... And then it was a whole new system. Like, we used Xero.
Yeah.
It was one system. My wife does all the paperwork.
Yep.
She's the brains behind it all. I'm just the one out there.
It's quite common.
Yeah.
There's a partnership involved, absolutely.
Yeah. She's the brains. I'm just the brawn out there running cables. But yeah, it was very, very difficult. Sign here, cross this, top this, do this.
Yep.
Then we had a full system in Xero, and then we changed over to company, and we had to go and reboot all the system, move everything over, and that was probably 6 months in. So that's a huge huge step that I did. That would have been better to start with it like that, but you just don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Other thing I would say is be prepared to work. Yeah, you're not on wages. You're not on a 9 to 5. If this is for you, it's for you. If it's not, it's not. You just be honest with yourself and put trust into the system. You know, as you know, when I first walked in, you know, I was like, I had my folder, my clipboard, I was running around, you know. Life was good. I was going to take over the world. You know, but the world had already been taken over.
Yeah.
I just need to slid into my little slot, and it was good.
Oh, yeah, great enthusiasm. I love how you said, though, be prepared to work. Now, what does that mean for, like, just outline that for people? Because that's a really good point you make. So when you said you were working for someone else, you would take extra time on the job.
Yeah.
Whereas now when you say be prepared to work, because that just means, you know, the customer service standards you said, trying to be a bit quick at the jobs, or what does that actually mean, be prepared to work?
Like I said before, like I'll get a phone call at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people I know, I'm like, I'm not answering the phone, it's not work hours, yeah. Love what you do.
Yeah.
Just love what you do. I love what I do. I love talking to customers. I love meeting the different people. I love meeting different cultures. I love hearing everyone's story. You know, love what you do. And it sounds very cliche, but love what you do and you never work a day in life.
Yeah.
It's still work, and some days it's hard, and some days it's difficult, but I walk into customers' houses and we're best mates, you know, we're friends, you know.
And what's the hardest aspect of the job then, maybe?
The hardest aspect of the job, it's... Good question. The hardest is probably the constant of it. It's always constant.
Yeah.
You just never switch off.
Yeah.
But I love that, yeah. I love that. If I sit down for 10 minutes, I feel lazy. So for some people, I would say the constant of it. You know, my apprentice that I have now, my past workers that I've had work for me, they're like, you're crazy. Just relax. Just relax.
But you love it.
Take a breather. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's funny you say that because I interviewed a franchisor from mowing the other day, John, and he said the same thing.
Yeah.
You're always thinking about your business 24/7 and how can I do things better.
Yeah.
But he said exactly the same thing. He loves it and that's what he likes to do. So
Yeah.
and obviously the reward for effort as well. You get a bit more.
Yeah.
Financially, you're happy with what you're doing as well. You don't have to save money, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say my truth. So when I first started gyms, I started on a Tuesday. This is my first day, technically, and I didn't get any jobs the morning. And I called Cam, and we changed it up. I think I got 9 jobs. So my first week, I looked in the bank. So I was 0, 0, 0, 0. I was when I first started. After my first week, and after the materials I bought and everything, it was $12,000.
fantastic.
My first week. That's my honest truth.
It's amazing.
That's my honest truth.
Disclaimer, you're not. It just did. We'll have to put a disclaimer on that because we get in trouble for earning saying that. But that's a good point.
Yeah, so that's my truth, and that's what it was. It's not always like that. You know, some weeks you're working all week and you make not even anywhere close to that, but you're still putting the work in and setting up for the future. Financially, if I didn't have gyms, I would not be able to live in the house I live in.
Wow. Okay.
Especially as a board, if you can't tell, it's hard out there with the cost of living and everything like that. If I didn't have gyms and the support and the constant work coming in, I would not be able to live in my house. I wouldn't be able to afford my mortgage on a normal electrician's wage.
And how have you gone about improving the profitability in your business? Because you mentioned, is it something where you're trying to be a bit more choosy with your jobs, or how are you trying to do that?
No, I take everything.
Take everything.
I take everything.
That's good because you never know where it can lead to that person you're doing the job for. You don't know what they own or who they know and stuff.
Yeah, I love doing everything.
Good.
And I've got my rapport with all the other gyms franchises with, plumbing and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's great. So you deal with the network. Okay, good.
Yeah, so I've got plumbers, gyms plumbers. I've got handymen. I've got plasterers. I've got all different types. Obviously, if I go into a kitchen, I'm doing the range hood, I need like a carpenter to help me
nice.
rebuild the range hood, or there's lots of different factors you may need. Or if I'm doing a gas cooktop, I'm removing it and putting an electric one in. I need a plumber there, obviously, to sign off on it. So yeah, it's a good lot of support.
That's amazing. Before we finish up today, I just want to ask you, what's your maybe your number one part? Like you mentioned a lot of benefits, which is fantastic, but why do you like being a part of gyms? And like 12 months is a fan. It's great to hear how well you're doing, because I love seeing we interviewed you at training to seeing you now, and for us it's good because we obviously do a lot of content about being a franchisee, and it's sell the dream, but to actually hear that it's married up is really heartwarming for us as well.
Yep.
But what would you say the best thing about being a part of gyms has been for you?
The best part would be the support. Honestly, the support. I'm a guy that will give it 110%, and then I go, oh, this isn't working too well, and then I go, I'll kind of like give up on it, But I never have that with you. Yeah. So I've started probably 4 or 5 different businesses, and you spend all your money, you start them, you get them going, and you're not making money. But here, straight off the bat, I was making money. Obviously, we need money to live. Whether we like it or not, we need money to live. The number one thing would be support. Like, as I said, with Cam, my franchisor, if I'm having a bad day, he goes, call me, mate. Call me anytime. I call him. No matter if he's in a bad mood, no matter what is going on in his life, he always makes my life better. Always. It's really always. It's the support and the system. Because I was trying to run a system, paper. At the end of the month, I was trying to count me quotes and me invoices and run back. And even just the system, you jump on gyms online and it's just everything's there. Yeah. Everything's there. And you guys have spent millions on that system. Millions on that system.
He has, yes.
Yeah. And that system, I got that system when I started up, Yeah. And I'm pretty sure I don't pay for it.
There's a technology fee in the fees.
Okay, cool.
It's covered under that. It's a very small amount, though, for what Jim's invested in over the years. But I was going to say, thank you very much for joining us today. It's been really refreshing. Great to hear as well from us meeting you 12 months ago to where you are now.
Yep.
And your enthusiasm was infectious at training. And it's great to see you haven't dropped that at all.
No.
Just a personal question. When are you going to start Jim's personal training as a division?
Yeah. I need to get back into the gym, actually. That'd be good fun. I enjoy the gym, but...
Well, I should ask you that. We'll end with that, actually. What do you do outside of work? So, you do the gym?
I work for gyms and go to the gym.
Yeah. Gym's gym.
I do go to the gym a lot more, but honestly, my passion right now is work.
Yeah.
It's like my baby. To be honest, it's like my baby. It's everything. So, do a bit of water skiing, do a bit of boxing, do a bit of gym. But yeah.
And how long have you been in the area for?
So I grew up in the Basin, which is about 20 minutes that way, and now we bought a house in Lilydale, which is literally 4 minutes from here.
Really?
4 minutes. It took me 4 minutes when I punched it in. I had no idea where it was in Mooroolbark. I punched it in. First day, nervous as hell. Punched it in 4 minutes from my front door.
Well, there you go. And I was going to say, what would you say to maybe a young person who might be flicking through TikTok or Instagram and come across this regarding a trade? Because I think what you said, me personally, by my time again, I would have done a trade. Yep. I would have been a Sparky. I like that sort of stuff.
Yep.
I'm too old now. I'm done. But if someone's scrolling through TikTok and a young kid sees this, because I think they don't understand the opportunity that's with the trade, I think, and the way things are going now with AI and knowledge workers and all that sort of stuff. I think doing what you did back then that's the way to go for young people now, is getting a skill, which is physical, right?
Definitely.
What would you maybe say to them or advise them to do? So, how would you advise them to look at it maybe? Definitely.
If you got to know what you want to do, we'll have some sort of an idea. My cousin Levi, he's 14 years old, and he called me last week and he goes, I'm going to be an electrician.
Yeah.
So he's asked me all the ins and outs of it, and I'm just giving the best advice I can. For anyone out there that's young, doesn't know what they want to do, there's all this work experience stuff you can do now. You do a day here, day there, a month there, whatever. Enjoy it. Enjoy what you do. Obviously, work is work, and the people that work with is also a huge factor. But even if you don't like it or you think you're going to like it, try something else. There's so many different areas of electrical. There's so many different areas of plumbing. There's so many. You don't have to just do PowerPoints in a residential house. You can do air conditioners in Empire State Building. You can do anything. But with this job and what I do, it takes me everywhere.
Yeah.
I go. I love driving. I love travel. I love going around the city. I love it all. So you get to see a lot. You're not sitting in an office. You're not staring at a screen. As you said before, AI is taking over, and we're only seeing a small snippet of it.
Yeah.
We're going to have many people doing
But
all
also,
that.
but also, I think small business ownership, like it's not even taught to kids at all. Like obviously, as you said, VCAL's a trade and
Yep.
uni, and there's not even anything mentioned about being a business owner because you're now a business owner. You've been a business owner for a long time. I
Yeah.
think it's such a great life opportunity for you as well,
Yeah.
as you said, to be able to afford a nice house and
Yeah.
you have the freedom if you do want to do something. That small business ownership dream's not even wasn't taught to us. I presume it wasn't taught to you as well, which I find is quite confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I as I said, my mum and dad pushed me in. Credit to them.
Yeah.
They pushed me into VCAL. So I wasn't really good at school.
But a lot of people are, and that's
Not
the
really
thing, right?
good
We're
at
trying to
school.
force people to do these things, and they're not. Yeah.
Especially my mum and dad pushed me into the right direction. Who would have thought mum and dad were right?
Yeah.
After all these years.
So I think it's a great opportunity if there's a young, sparky might have done their 4 years, right? And they might know, well, what do I do? Do I work for someone or
Yep.
what do I do? Like this is a great option with what you've done, I think is a really good way to go.
Yeah, definitely. It's not just electrical.
Yeah.
Like me and my wife are looking at other divisions of gyms. We're looking at possibly laundry, looking at servicing, car cleaning, or something like that. We can just. That's my crazy brain.
You do something, okay.
Trying to grow and grow.
Yeah.
There's one thing I do want to say that I didn't get to get in there. The paperwork guarantee.
Yeah, we should have mentioned that. But
Yeah.
yeah, so let's talk about that. Yeah.
So the paperwork guarantee is what technically sold it to my wife.
Okay.
Because I'm a dreamer, yeah? I'm changing this, I'm doing this, I'm running this, I'm going to change the world. She's much more level-headed. She lives in the real world. I live a bit out of the real world. But the paperwork guarantee is if you don't make that certain amount of money for the week, for the month, for whatever you have with your franchisor, you get paid for that. And me personally, I didn't have to collect it because we're making money. You know what I mean? But you're always going to get paid.
It's a great point. I'm glad you said that. But yeah, we need to outline that. So yeah, a lot of franchises will have an income guarantee, right?
Yep.
And people just think it's free cash. Whereas with the pay for work guarantee, like as you said, you don't need to claim it. Most people don't. But the way it operates is basically we will pay you if you don't make a certain level to promote your business, right? So
Yep.
maybe go hand in 3 business cards or do free quotes for friends and we'll pay you at a certain level to make. But as you said, the partner a lot of the times needs more convincing than the person doing it, right? So you said that was the income or the pay for work guarantee, which helped convince your partner because it can be quite scary.
Oh,
going from
it
the
is very
employment to
scary.
this, and then you got a mortgage and stuff, and
Yeah.
people are not sure. And I'm glad you said it because a lot of the time people like yourself are real keen and stuff, and they have a detractor.
Yeah.
Or they maybe not a detractor, but they have someone who's might a bit more analytical or might be not see the vision that you have and can talk people out of it. And it happens a lot. And we have people then come back 5 years later and say, I should have not listened and I should have done it 5 years ago. So maybe what would you then say for partners? Because I think it's an important thing what you said. A lot of the time it's the partner as well getting involved in the business. What would you maybe say to them to look at or maybe put their mind at a bit more ease?
Go through it together.
Right.
Start to finish, go through it together. Because me personally, when I started the business, we all started the business. Yeah. So I'm working late nights, coming home late. All the good things that come with it. Go through it together, understand it together, come to the day here together.
The training they can come for free, which I think is a really, I don't know if that was brought in back when you were then, but I think we actually now allow partners to come for free.
Yeah.
Because we actually understand how important that is.
Huge, very important. I would say do it together and understand it together because I was learning everything going back, I've learned this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
And by the time I get from here to here, it's a bit of Chinese whispers in the middle.
Yeah. Exactly right. But now we've got this interview with yourself they can watch as well, which would be good as well. But well, thank you very much for your time, Matt. I said last question, we did another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's easy to talk to. Yeah. But if you want a free quote from you guys, what do they have to do?
Just call up, call the call center, call Jim's group, Jim's Electrical.
131546. That's it. Jim's Electrical website as well. Google it. Got franchisees obviously in the area. Yeah. And the great thing about using you guys, obviously we're biased, but you mentioned a great customer servicing, which is like the photos and being considerate of your mess and or the video after the job. I think that's little stuff. That's really, really important. Yeah. And just wows the customers when they hear that's the level of what you guys do in your business. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. One more thing.
Yeah, go for it. One more thing. It's good.
One more thing. So I've been going for 12 months and I have had over 800 jobs come through.
800?
800 jobs in 12 months. You can, if you put that into Google Ads right now, you'd be broke.
And the difference is, are you counting them as converted jobs or just leads?
No, they're leads. The leads that I've got.
And how many would you convert an estimate?
Before as the news says, the crisis, the housing crisis, the market crisis at the moment, 95%.
95% conversion, wow.
Yeah, 95%. And, now it's a little bit harder, to be honest. It's a little bit harder, obviously, with the crisis and everything like that.
People might be getting a few more quotes and stuff.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder, but after the financial year, it's actually come a bit better.
Right.
But yeah, it's good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Matthew. We appreciate it. And if you are looking at Jim's Electrical, just Google Jim's Electrical, jump on the website.
Yep.
Call 131-546. And if you are thinking about gyms in general, gyms.net, 131-546. But thank you for your time today, Matt.
More than welcome. Happy to help.
We're trying a new format, trying to give a bit more detail and depth to our local franchisees. And hopefully, if you've watched this to the end, leave a thumbs up, a comment, and subscribe.
Easy. Anyone can reach out to me too. Anyone wants to be in electrical, anyone that wants to know the truth, I'll tell you the cold hard truth. Anyone reach out, I'm happy to help.
Perfect.
Even talk to your partners, whatever you need.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Matt. We appreciate it.
Beautiful. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, mate.